All right, forecast. So if we take a look at the dollar first, then on the dollar, what are we seeing? Well, currently on the daily, actually, right there, we are currently seeing lower prices. So we had a rejection. We had a rejection off of overall, again, that fair value area that we are seeing right there. Did not come into the daily value gap, did not really have time agreeing as well. Overall, we're seeing the volatility is, again, there's a lack of volatility, especially these last 2 weeks before we head into January. So right here, I don't want to do anything. Now, I do still think we can potentially head higher towards those daily value gaps to then sweep them, to then continue lower. Could potentially be nice if something lines up. I am not really looking to trade off of this 4-hour value gap again. Don't really like that myself. If we get already lower prices, we get a new 4-hour value gap potentially off of that even, then I would say, all right, well, we could potentially already head lower before we actually come into the daily value gap. Now, with that in mind on ES. On ES right now, I do think that we can head towards these highs right there. Head towards these highs. It really depends again on what the dollar wants to do here, but these highs are looking very nice. We also have the daily value gap, of course, right there. So currently, really depends. Do we want to create this daily value gap higher or not? If we create that daily value gap higher, we could even be looking at a nice daily value gap to continue higher off of that. Nasdaq, pretty much the same story where you have the highs overall, new all-time highs, and I currently just want to wait a little bit to see what do we actually want to do right now. Then on YM. On YM right here, we have this daily value gap, but again, same story, we're close to that draw liquidity right there. So if we can already deliver into that, could as well be nice. On DAX, let's see. So DAX actually had quite a nice rejection already higher, which is quite interesting. So here, if we can potentially look to continue higher again off of 4-hour value gaps, overlapping highs right there, could actually be quite nice to eventually continue higher. Then if we do not respect those, then I would say, all right, if we do not respect those, then let's look to target the overlapping high, which we talked about yesterday as well, which would be ideal, of course. Australian dollar, US dollar, here already continuing higher as well. So again, here daily value gap, waiting for price action to show what it actually wants to do, to then potentially continue higher. Well, I wanted to say could be nice, but overall I'm just not looking to get involved because I do not think it's nice personally. And the reason for that is just because of the time, just because these last 2 weeks of December right here. EU did not come into the daily value gap, but is already continuing higher. Again, here I would just simply want to wait. Do we create a daily value gap or not? GU, same exact thing right here, which we did already continue higher. So if we have a 4-hour value gap right there, higher, could be nice, but do I trust this setup enough to actually bet money on it? Personally, not really. And the reason being for that is, again, because of the dollar, overall situation, overall time, I don't want to bet any money on this right now. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, same exact story right here, where we can potentially look to continue higher eventually. With daily value gap actually to the left right there being a nice first target. USD Canadian dollar. So if we can eventually retrace towards the daily value gap, could be nice to continue lower. US dollar CHF. Well, right here, this is again the same story where if we already create this daily value gap lower right there, then that daily value gap lower would be nice to then push into the draw liquidity sitting right there. US dollar JPY. Right here, coming into the overlapping part actually today, it is looking like it wants to respect it. So on the 4-hour value gap lower right there, if overnight we already continue lower off that, 1 hour, 15-minute value gaps lower as well, could be quite nice to eventually target lower. Could be quite nice as well. Then on silver right here already continuing higher as well, and not creating a daily value gap higher though. So again, shows that lack of volatility overall, which I do not really like. On gold could be creating a daily value gap right there, with next targets on both silver and gold, the swing highs sitting right there. Bitcoin, still waiting, not really doing anything, still waiting. Crude oil, let's see. We respected the weekly value gap on that first initial day, but here it does not show those signs again. So here I would say, all right, I would ideally want to wait for this monthly value gap to potentially be created right there, to then continue lower off of that. Other than that, Not really interested. Definitely not interested in shorts right here. Want to wait a little bit more. Nifty coming into the daily value gap right there. Also, just again, not interesting because I feel like we're chasing price right there. So I want to simply wait. Then the short list, Euro Canadian dollar, seems to have been coming into the daily value gap right there. Let's see. 4 hour consolidating. Just waiting. If we get a 4 hour value gap lower, could be nice again. Overall, it's just simply waiting right here. Simply waiting. New Zealand dollar JPY. Let's see. We're in the weekly value gap, but we have an extremely aggressive move into the weekly value gap. So I would not really expect that weekly value gap to hold right there. I do not really like that. Personally, do not really like that right there. CHF JPY, same exact story where already close to drawn liquidity, so that big retracement doesn't make a lot of sense to then continue lower eventually still. GBP Canadian dollar, right here on the 4 hour, coming into those 4 hour value gaps, 4 hour bullish value gap, we mentioned as well. If we get daily context, so unusual context higher, could potentially be nice. But now we have not following through on those. Value gaps lower, not following through higher. I don't want to get involved. And simply said, again, like the previous forecast as well, I don't want to look to get involved in anything right now. So I am on the sidelines. I will likely stay on the sidelines. Well, I can definitely say I will stay on the sidelines this whole week. And likely on the sidelines until the beginning of January. And then seeing where we're at, what are we doing. So currently, I would again, just as I advised in the forecast, in the previous days as well, I would advise to do the same. And then potentially learning or a little bit of extra case studies, a little bit of extra what do you do? A little bit of extra data collection that you already had collected through your live trading could be nice. And mainly that, I would say. And then staying on the sidelines. That is my plans for the next weeks as well. All right, perfect. Thank you.